Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you've had a good week. I've had an okay week. It's been raining pretty much constantly this week, but I did manage to squeeze some work in. More fairing left over from last week, and then I'll try and get some glass work done on some areas that we cut off of the tow rail. So let's get to it. Oh, a rare warm day today. Uh, Lots of sun. Let's see what we can get done. So you'll notice here I'm actually using an oversized sanding pad, and that's because it folds along the edges and it actually gets to sand into those tight spots where I couldn't otherwise get to. It really works well, especially around that rail, around the track, and around areas that I just can't reach otherwise. I'd have to go in manually with my hands, and I don't have time for that. And now I go in with a 120 grit disc for some finer work. And now I'm finally ready to glass this section. I've left this till quite late because there's still an area in front of the chain plate that I need to deal with, but I can deal with that another time. And the process is pretty much the same. I wet out the area slightly, put the cloth down, cut it to length, and then I dab it in place, and I come along with the brush and I slowly work the bubbles out, and I add a little bit more epoxy as I go along. Works really well for me and leaves a pretty decent enough finish, and it's pretty strong. This obviously will get faired over, as you've seen me do. And as before, I lob out some of the fairing compound and some of the hardener. I mix it right in place and I'll spread it evenly over the surface. This very first piece of fairing that I put on all the videos that you've seen are not sort of final quality coats. I'll still sand it down, I'll still come along with a sort of a more analytical eye, go over any little imperfections and do it a lot better than that, and then final sanding before I prime it all. A couple of months back I redid this entire area. This is going to be our new electrical distribution board. This is the AC part of it. These are the various DC switches, none of them connected at the moment. This will be for pumps, refrigeration, nav lights, equipment, etc. The only things that are currently working are my bilge pumps, obviously. I have a little USB port, a double USB port, my battery voltage from the temporary location of the new battery bank, well, new, some of it is 4 years old now, and then a normal 12 volt plug that I can use for whatever else. And then obviously behind here I will have all my cabling and wiring, etc. going through. This entire area was refurbished. It had some really old equipment on it. This boat never really had proper electrical, really. It just had a cable from A to B for one thing, and that was it. Nothing came to a centralized point. You couldn't turn anything off. And the rest of it is upstairs, and all of that's got to be replaced. Let me show you. I really do want to get to the point where I don't have to keep mopping up here, but I'm not there yet, so sadly. But at least it proves that this area is watertight. Nothing is coming through to the other side. It's just a little annoying and inconvenient. Alright, so this is the, oops, all of this stuff is loose because I've been working up here. So this is the old distribution board, or at the very least it's where some of the switches come to. We've got bilge pumps here. This never worked, and this one, which sometimes worked, but the pumps were long gone, and as you've seen downstairs, I've completely redone all of that. Then we have a starter here to start the engine, and then I think the only dials for the engine that actually work is the oil pressure for the gearbox and the oil pressure for the engine. That's it. All of this other stuff, it's never worked. Not once has it worked. And we have a Furuno nav pilot, which maybe works. A Furuno multi-control, I think we got 2 of those. This is for wind data. This is part of the Mitsuba fish finder or something. The real problem here is just the state of the wiring. Let me show you. So this is the state of the wiring. I've already removed a lot from here. I've already cleaned up a lot. There were lots of just duplicate wires and dead-end wires going nowhere. There's like breakers in between connectors. There's another one here. God knows where that goes. And early on, when I brought batteries back and replaced the existing batteries, we ended up with a problem with some of this stuff catching fire. And I don't want things catching fire on my boat. And so to prevent things catching fire on the boat, that's what this whole new distribution board is for. As explained, this is all new stuff, and I know where everything goes. Currently the only thing set up here is our little multi-display and USB port and the bilge pumps, at least for the central bilge. There's a main bilge here in the galley which I have a new pump for, but until I widen the access to the galley bilge, I'm not going to be able to get in there to do any of that sort of work. All of the new AC is going to come in here. Currently it's an extension coming outside, plugging into a little surge protector onto a multi-plug, and then like the boat's AC is plugged into that. By AC I mean alternating current. 110 for you guys overseas, 230 for us down here, and I don't like that either. That's terrible. We also had a blowout a couple of years ago. Started smelling something burning, and we lost all AC power behind the engine and into any of the cabins, so we were running extensions, and I have no idea where that went. We saw some smoke, and we smelt something burning, turned the power off, and it's never worked since, and I'm too afraid to turn that back on. So we need to know what's going on with the electrics. I think once the basic stuff is done, the boat is livable again. Once the rooms are painted and the basic things are taken care of, the next big project in terms of complete redo is going to be the head, and there's really not much for it there. We're going to have to strip the head completely and build a new head. I don't mind the Japsco hand pump toilet thingy. It would be nice to have something fancier, but it works fine for now, and finances are not really going to cater for that. We'll have to redo the shower. We have pumps for that. I want to take the floor out because the floor is rotten, but I'll show you all of these in upcoming videos. For now, thanks for joining me this week. Please join me next week. Like, subscribe, all of those YouTuber stuff, and there's some really exciting stuff coming up soon, and I hope you have enjoyed this week. Cheers, have a good week. Bye.